Well, hello there.
Hello, Nader Nation. What? That's what we are.
I know. Welcome to Needles at the Ready. I'm Kevin.
I'm Ray.
Today is Saturday, June 28th.
Yes.
And this is episode 138 of our YouTube channel where we talk about knitting, crocheting, yarn dyeing, buying, spinning, all that fun stuff that goes along with it.
Yes,
And
we are very excited to be here.
We are.
Took last week off. So
it's been 3 weeks.
It's been 3 weeks. So thank you very much for your patience. We had a lot going on, which we'll talk about. And we are going to get back on track next week. We have a very special plan. We'll just talk about it now because, for those who don't, I don't know.
This is our off week. We don't typically record this week. But to get back on track into, just because we like the schedule that we're on, based on other podcasts that we watch. So it keeps us on point. Mm-hmm. And
plus, I don't want to change the calendar.
I was just going to say that. It's already in our calendar.
Yeah, to repeat.
I don't want to update that.
No, and I don't like having things show up on my calendar that we're not doing.
Correct. So, in order to get back on track next week, we are going to do a YouTube Live where we answer your burning questions.
I was going to say burning questions.
Were you?
Yeah,
Look
I was.
At us. Oh my God, we're so in sync.
It's like we're totally in sync.
So,
I was just going to start singing Backstreet's Back, but that's not even close to in sync.
Nope.
No. They're competitors. They were.
So let's say we're going to do that at 2 p.m. Eastern time next Saturday, right? We have nothing next Saturday. Let me look at the calendar.
The podcast is scheduled.
On
our calendar.
So, so that's what we have next week. So we'll do...
Okay, so July 5th. Yep, I just have podcast day. This is what this is what it looks like on our calendar.
Yes. So we'll do a YouTube Live at 2 p.m. Eastern time.
2 p.m. Eastern time. Let me put that in the calendar.
Or just update the podcast day one.
But will it update for...
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's a really good question.
All right.
Just do whatever you want to do.
We'll remember 2 p.m., yeah?
And we know it's going to be a weird weekend because here in the U.S. it's July 4th weekend. But it's what's going to work for us. So if you can make it, please feel free to jump on. We are going to...
Okay.
I just glitched. We're going to make a community post where you can drop your questions for us. We're only going to pull questions from that community post. If any questions are left down in the comments for this episode, we won't be pulling from there just to make it easier on us and to keep the comments a little bit cleaner for us this week because we have a lot to talk about in general.
We do. And we have a couple of special giveaways that we're going to do this episode. So stay tuned. With the community tab, for those that do not know, there's if you go to our YouTube channel or any YouTube channel, there is a little tab at the top once you're at our channel that says community. If you click on that, it'll bring you to our community tab. So any of the posts that we make that are outside of videos will be on that community tab. I'm sorry, it's under posts.
So if you, at YouTube and you actually go to our channel page.
Yep.
To the far right.
Look at those handsome devils.
It says posts. So you just tap on the posts. And then this is where the community post will be. Yep. Where you can then just comment with your questions for next week's live.
Yeah, you'll see a post. I'll create a post asking for those questions. If you are a subscriber and you have the bell clicked, I was just going to start singing Gail and Laura. We just watched Gail and Laura last night. If you click that bell, you will get a notification when we make posts on the community tab or when our video goes up. So go ahead and ring my bell. I'm not going to sing it. I want to so bad.
And when we go live, right? So you'll get a notification
and when we go
live next
Correct.
week.
We're going to go live downstairs in our living room.
Thank you. I was going to talk about that next.
The Skylar will be probably most likely joining the podcast.
You may see some bird butt because he does like to jump on the top of a laptop or a phone or an iPad. So he will definitely walk around there. You're going to hear a bunch of chirping and
talking and chattering and screaming probably.
Yeah, so if that's going to be distracting, we apologize. But we do get a lot of requests to see him, so we thought it would be a fun way to get him on the podcast because we can't bring him up here.
Yeah, he won't come upstairs.
So that's the only way for us to do it.
Yeah. So anyway, join me, Kevin, and Skylar next week at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or Eastern Time. I don't know if it's standard or not.
I don't know if it's standard anymore. It used to be.
I don't know.
It may just be Eastern Time now.
I think it's just Eastern Time.
So I think that's the big things.
Yeah, that's what's coming. That's to get us back on track. Long story longer. Thank you for your patience. We needed to have last weekend off.
Yeah.
But we appreciate everybody's comments and reactions to our Instagram and community post. So we are getting back on our regular schedule starting next week with a special live, and then we'll be on a regular.
Let's hope it'll be a
schedule again.
All right.
Unless the cruise is a podcast weekend.
I think it might be, but
Great.
Who knows? All right. So let's talk about. We'll do like a quickly summary of the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
So after the last episode, you guys saw we were wearing our holiday themed shirts. So we went to the twins' birthday party where we were the only two people dressed in theme, with the exception of maybe like our sister-in-law had a red dress. And her mother did too. Her mother had something red on. Other than that, we were the only people who went to the themed party in said theme.
Yeah. Listen, but if you're going to have a theme.
But it was very appreciated.
It was. We definitely got a lot of reactions. Comments. People
were jealous that we went with said theme.
Yeah. And I don't think people were surprised, like, at the end of the day.
No.
Because it's you
us.
and me. I do regret not sending back the and not having the Santa bathing suit. But it really wasn't super warm. Although our nieces wanted to go in the pool, and my brother needed a little bit of a break, so I took one of the nieces in the pool. She's 3. Wow.
You went with 3. Oh no, you went with Riley. That's right.
Yeah. She wouldn't leave the stairs, and I'm freezing. I'm like, let's get in the water.
I forgot about that.
But anyway, it was very cute. The twins turned 2.
I'm gonna sneeze.
Don't do it. No, you can do it. It's fine. Nostrovia. Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
So anyway, that was the Sunday after the podcast.
Yeah, right. The day of.
Oh, sorry. The day of. You're right.
Sunday.
Yep. The day of.
And then the following weekend, we had our trunk show at Driftwood Yarns.
Yeah.
So we headed up there on Saturday morning.
Early.
Yeah, we got there for, I think it was like 9:30. 9:30, yeah. Because we had a little bit of traffic on the way there.
Right.
And it was our first time there. Driftwood Yarns is in Groton, Connecticut. The owner, Cindy, is fantastic. Like, it's, you know what's really cool, too, about visiting a yarn shop for the first time and just, like, spending some time there, is you get to see the community and you get to see the people who work in the shop and how they interact with them. And she's super helpful to everybody who came in the doors. They have a really great community there.
Yeah.
It's a cute shop.
I was gonna say it's a very cute location too.
Yeah.
It was also knit in public day.
Oh yes.
But the weather was pretty rainy. But the location's really nice. There's a gazebo like right across the parking lot on the water. It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, but like Kevin was saying, it's when you get to go to a really nice yarn shop with a strong community, it's almost like every yarn shop has its own like life almost.
Yes.
You know, it's like you learn its own personalities and like who's part of it. It's really a cool thing. And this shop was very, very cute. Really great selection of yarns at all different price points. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say what was really cool too is, and with those yarns, like they had a lot of samples, and a lot of the samples were patterns I hadn't heard of.
Me too.
So I thought that was really interesting and really cool to see, because it wasn't everything that you typically see on a podcast or,
right.
I don't want to say advertised, but shown heavily on Instagram. So that was really nice to see as well, a variety of patterns.
Yeah. There were a lot of kids patterns too.
Yes.
Which I thought was really, kid samples, which I thought was really great. And obviously showcasing the yarn. And people were just coming in for like stitch markers and then like leaving. It was she created a really nice community there. And being in Groton for those that don't know, Groton, Connecticut is like the submarine headquarters of the world. So like we have a military base here, submarine base. And as like she was telling us that first of all, they have 3 like knit nights. Or crochet night, craft nights every week. So I think it's like Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
Where people can just come in and sit. They have a really nice sized table as well. Can sit and knit there. And she was saying that, you know, you get people who in the military, you sometimes you have to move around, and families have a hard time, you know, maybe establishing some roots and making friends. And she said she gets, you know, people like family members of our military, or, you know, military members that just looking for some social time or just an opportunity to kind of like lay back. And it was really neat to like hear the stories. So all in all, definitely recommend visiting the shop. It was a great experience for us as well. So we got up there early, we set up, they opened at 10. And of course, right off the bat, Laura and Gail and Gail's sister, who I can't remember her name. Lisa, were like the first ones through the door, which was fantastic to see them. We absolutely love them.
It's really, you know, it's really fun to see people that we know, because it helps settle me down. Like,
me too.
I don't know about you. Like,
it does.
I get nervous, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. So to have somebody walk in that you know just kind of settles those nerves and makes you a little more comfortable. So that was really great to see them. And then our friends, Jen and Angie, came and visited.
They came with presents.
So they're just sweet. And Angie, as you guys, we've talked about before, is the reluctant entrepreneur of
that's
Twinkle,
not a real name.
Twinkle Dimple stitch markers, which I don't know if I have any up here.
Oh, I have a ton on my projects.
Okay, because I just used mine for a project I'll talk about.
We'll have her link down below. Twinkle Dimple.
She's in our coupon code Google Doc.
Yep. They're beautiful people. They're really amazing people. They brought us some really nice donuts. It was Father's Day. The next day would have been Father's Day.
Yes.
So the donuts that they got, they went to Mystic. It's a beautiful area. If you ever come down this way, you can visit Mystic. Mystic is like a really cute village.
Mystic is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
Mystic Village is so fun to visit.
Yep. So there was a donut shop, but I can't remember the name of it. Deviant
Donuts.
So they had very like specialty donuts. So they brought us like half dozen of these specialty donuts, and it was cute. They were all in themes. Some of them had like fishing and like a tie, you know, for Father's Day or whatever. And then they brought us a bouquet of flowers, which was great. It's still cute. Downstairs. They still look alive.
I know they are.
Yeah, surprised. They were like a rainbow pride set. So, you know, on that note, happy Pride to everybody, you know, who celebrates, and all of our allies out there. Thank you very much. We appreciate you so much. So it was nice. We had a really good group of people, and it was pretty steady all day.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of like chatting and socializing,
in meeting new people and seeing people that we've seen at other events. So if you did come see us, thank you. And what was really great too is that they kept the yarn for a full week. Yep. So if you were able to shop after that Saturday, it was there to the following Saturday afternoon. So we appreciate anybody who came out that Saturday and during the week to make any purchases from Driftwood.
Yeah, it was great.
And then
we will definitely be back.
Yeah. Because we go by it quite often since we go to Rhode Island too.
Yeah.
So then we came home. We didn't do anything that Sunday. We took that day to...
Yeah, Saturday was a long day.
It was.
We were there the entire day. We left around 4 o'clock. We had some traffic coming home as well.
Yeah. And then that next week, we were really busy with a project that we were working on.
We can't talk about it yet.
We can't talk about it, but
really
you'll see about it
late
in a couple weeks-ish.
But it definitely required both of us and
your mom's help
and my mother.
So we were quite busy. So it really left very little time for knitting.
Yeah.
So then that following weekend, we went back to Driftwood to pick up the yarn that Saturday, and then we headed to Skein Yarn Shop.
Because why wouldn't we?
Well, we were really close, and what was really nice is that nobody knew we were coming, so we just got to hang out and chat when we got there, have some food. We went out to a really lovely dinner.
We had our very first
acai
bowl. I am shook.
You should go get one.
I want one so bad.
You said there's one around us.
There is.
Go get one when we're done podcasting.
Would you like one?
Maybe.
We'll have to take a look at the menu.
Yeah.
It's on Barnum Avenue, I think.
So we did that. We went to Greenwich Bay Oyster Bar for dinner. And then
and Jan and Angie came with us.
They did. So
which I think that was like the first time that we got a chance to go with them to the Oyster Bar.
Yeah.
They're usually our breakfast buddies.
They are our breakfast buddies.
Yeah. But we didn't stay the night, so we
didn't. We couldn't get a room. The hotel was booked.
I know. Which is a good thing because we had so much to do.
We did.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then this week was just kind of wrapping up some stuff, and now we're here.
Here we are.
So, with that, let's start getting into some yarny stuff.
Okay, we do have one more announcement, though, or admin thing. Let's hear it for the boys.
Oh, jeez.
I know. We have so much going on, y'all. So hopefully you have a drink. Hopefully you put your feet up.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one.
Yeah.
It's been 3 weeks worth of knitting that we have
Watch
to talk
it only
about.
Be 45 minutes. Anyway, we have the potential to be a little bit longer. So just, grab a drink. Don't have alcohol just yet because it is going to be a long time. Unless you play a drinking game, then God bless. So, okay, so Let's Hear It for the Boys. We are live with Let's Hear It for the Boys. We kicked that off on June 20th, which was the first day of summer. And we started a chatter thread, like always, and an FO thread. This is our 6th, I believe, time that we're doing this. It says at the top.
Oh. I think it's our 5th.
I think it's our 6th.
20, 21.
I don't know. Does
6.
It say?
You say 6.
I said 6.
20. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
6th time.
6th time doing it.
Doing this knit along. And it's really wonderful. We've talked about this before. I'm sure most of you know already what it is, but we're highlighting the gents in our industry, whether those be yarn dyers, pattern designers, you're knitting or crocheting or making something for the dude in your life or yourself. And we have Kevin put together a really nice, what's it called?
I did a bundle. So one of the things I think that's the hardest type of project to find is men's sweater patterns. So I created a bundle on our Needles at the Ready.
Look how many of them are Max.
I know there's a lot of Max. I actually have to add some more. So on our Needles at the Ready,
got that new whiskey sour shirt.
Yeah, the shirt.
That looks
really
so
nice.
Good.
There's another shirt that just came out by Rostis that looks really cute too.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, on the Needles at the Ready, what is this called? Ravelry group. I created a bundle for men's sweaters. So there's currently, I want to say like 52 to 56 in here.
Oh, look, there's been some.
So
look how many Maxes.
So yeah, there's a lot of Max. There's a lot of Alicia Plummer.
Yeah.
There's some Marie Wallen, Martin Story. I can't do it that way. Will it work here? So yeah, so just head on over if you're looking for some ideas on sweaters to make. This one I've wanted to make since that publication came out.
Yeah.
I actually have this on the needles, Slade. That was the first sweater I attempted to knit. There's also some Andrea Mowry, some Petite Knit. I need to add...
What's Justin's flannel?
I have the yarn for that.
That looks so cool.
I know, and I bought the yarn from Pick Up Every Stitch for that.
Oh, wow.
That is with the Julie Aslin yarn.
Yes.
I swatched for it, but my gauge was off. So yeah, so we'll add... I'm actually going to go through. We have a hat bundle there, too. I want to throw some more hats in there.
That's great.
So check that out. That's some ideas, but it doesn't have to be those. It could be a shawl, a scarf, socks, whatever. So we do have the FO and the chatter thread. That's going to run until the first day of fall, last day of summer.
Yeah, I think it's the last day of summer. So also, in our Ravelry group, there is a Let's Hear It for the Boys repository, which is basically like a free-for-all. You can...
There's 6 things in it. Oh, no. There's a chatter.
Yeah, for the repository. You could just...
Thread.
Yeah, there's, like, it kind of got out of control because you all are so amazing with recommendations of, like, patterns and things. So it's another great opportunity if you have some time to peruse that channel or that thread and kind of get some ideas and chit-chat.
Yeah, there's some hats in there. There's some shawls. So that's another good thing to go check out.
Yeah. So anyway, Let's Hear It for the Boys. And we really hope that y'all participate. Pretty much everything that we make is a qualifier, but you know. I think that's really all of the admin-y stuff.
Yeah, we do have one more thing we have to give away, but we'll talk about that after we get through the knitting and stuff. Because that part's really going to be heavy on products after the knitting. We have a lot of products to talk about.
Products.
Yes.
Acquisitions. Right. Owl post.
Yes. All right, so let's get into some knitting. I have 1 FO and 4. I have 5 whips, but I only brought up 4.
Whoa.
Yeah. Why? Because the other one's spinning and I haven't done much on it really.
Okay.
To like bring it up and show.
No worries. I have 0 FOs. Sorry. Not sorry. I mean, it is what it is. And I have maybe 3 whips that I'll talk about. 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll talk about my
with this.
one and only FO.
I totally
I
can't.
just made this over the last 2 days. So it's kind of cheating.
Why is it cheating?
No, it's not. So this is...
Oh. It's Noodles.
Noodles. This is from the book The Gnomes of Grimblewood by Sarah Shira.
What a wonderful, wonderful book. It is so cute. And this was inspired when we took part in... Oh, it's still going on. The From a Book Mal that we're participating with.
Yeah. From that...
We had a knit night, or a
Zoom.
Yeah. We hosted a Zoom with Michael and Chip and Aaron. And somebody on the Zoom was making a lot of these gnomes from this book. And so we, of course, ended up Did we buy this book, or did somebody send this to us?
No, I bought the book. Literally during the Zoom.
Yeah. But see how you get inspired by other people?
I know.
It's such a problem.
So what I did is I went and grabbed some scrap yarn the other day because I wanted
Hold it up again, Kev. It's too
No,
cute.
I'm sorry. I wanted to knit, but I didn't want... Oh, that's why. We were having a heat wave. And I wasn't...
We sure were.
If you know, you know. Mm-hmm. It was awful. Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to knit on anything big. So... And I didn't want to knit anything that I had on my needles, right?
Look at his little pudgy belly.
So I thought, what can I make? What can I just sit down that's going to be engaging enough to like get me kind of back into the swing of things? And I thought, what the heck? Let me just go make a gnome. And I feel like I watched somebody recently too who made one. And
oh my God.
I just grabbed some yarn. So this yarn... 2 of the colors were used in one of my Stephen West shawls.
Cute.
These first 2 colors are Ching Fiber. This was in my Lava Lakes shawl kit that I bought. So these 2 are from that. This is Needles at the Ready Yarn. This is on the BFL. This is Ghost Water. I think.
That's
it's either
one of
Ghost
my
Water.
Favorite colors.
No, you know what? I actually think it's Wedding Mints.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But I used it for the hands, the beard, and the nose. It was really, really simple to make. You start with the hat, and you work the hat this way.
Mm-hmm. Bottom up.
Yeah, kind of bottom. Yeah, just like you would a typical hat, right? You work it like you would a typical hat. Then you go through and you pick up stitches and you work the body.
Oh.
And then...
So it's all connected. You don't have to sew those together.
No, but you don't have to sew the head and the body together. At least on this particular one. I don't know about the other ones.
Sure.
And then the nose and the arms are just some I-cords. The beard, I did have to watch how to do that. But I did the head and the body in one day. I did the arms and the nose and the beard yesterday in like an hour. Mm-hmm. And just whip stitch it all together kind of however I wanted.
Yeah, I came home from work and Kevin's like, look what I did. And it was the whole like head and body already put together. I was like, what?
Super quick. So the pattern does... In the book, it gives you instructions on how to do fingering weight and DK. I don't know if you can do... I'm sure you could do worsted. Let's see.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, it says light worsted, DK. So it gives you everything that you need.
It would just make it a different size. You can do any.
But I mean...
do a giant bulky one.
Just look at these. Here.
Yeah, they're so cute.
So it's a great...
There's a person at our front door.
Probably male. Are they dropping stuff off?
Maybe.
So it's a great little thing to do for scrap yarn.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't take any time at all. The only thing I didn't do for this is I didn't put any weighted thing in the bottom of it to make sure it stays. So, and I read this afterwards. There's like pellets that you can buy.
Well, you could put rice in there or something.
So it does say that you could put like rice or beans, but you need to do that if you're in a cool, dry environment.
That would make sense.
And you're not worried about critters. The other thing too was I think you could put those like cedar discs in there or like cedar balls,
that's a good idea.
Maybe at the bottom, and the little glass beads from like a aquarium.
Oh, smart.
Or a coin. You could do.
I was going to say like put a penny in or something.
Yeah, so I didn't do that, but I'll probably do that going forward. I think these would be cute little.
I want to make them so bad. They would look so cute in my office.
You know what I thought they would look cute as too is if you were doing a holiday themed dinner, whether it's Christmas or whatever, like something around the holidays, these could be your little place settings or like markers.
Very cute idea.
So those could be gifts that people take away.
Yeah, because then you can even put like a little nameplate on them or something like that. You know what I mean?
Or like either on it or the name tag like in front, and then this is just there. So you could do something like
super
that for
cute.
these. You could also make ornaments out of them if they were, I would say this weight. And you didn't put a weighted anything in the bottom. You know, for the kids, too, just like a cute little stuffy for them.
Totally.
I think a cute stuffy if you go with like a DK weight one.
Yeah, and I would do a different beard probably. Just sometimes things get stuck for kids.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
On things.
Yeah, you could do like this beard.
Yeah.
The garter stitch.
Oh my god, there are just
like, and here's some more on the back.
So cute.
So I already have ideas for the next one. I don't know if I think I'm going to go through this and just work through each one. So like my next one is going to be...
Isn't Kirsty doing that from...
I'm going to do Naughty next.
Oh, he looks complicated.
He's going to be cute though.
So cute. Look at the little wagon that they have in there.
I know. So yeah, so that was a fun little project. I use a... US 2.25 millimeter needle for the entire thing. I think I was supposed to go up a size for something, but I didn't. And I did mine in Magic Loop.
Nice.
So that's my one and only FO.
It's divine. So cute. Put it right there.
Where? Here?
In front of the books. Oh, there's no room. Yeah. There you go. Kind of blend in a little bit, but that's cute. He's cute.
He is.
Very cute.
All right. So, whips, IF4, UF3-ish. So why don't you go? Let's see what you have. Let's see what you're working on.
Oh, yeah, because I want to actually work on this while we're sitting here. This is living in my Madder Root bag that we got in Boston at Boston Fiber Festival of Boston. Whatever
something along those lines. Something it was the first year at that new venue.
And I loved the like rainbow.
Yeah.
And how perfect today.
I know.
For Pride. So these are my library socks that I've been working on, and quite honestly, everything was kind of put on hold. Like I haven't really picked up much until just like a couple of days ago. Last night, really. I did a lot last night. So I finished.
So good.
It is so good. One sock, I just have to put in the heels. When I do my socks, because I don't want second sock syndrome, not that I've ever dealt with that, but I'm afraid that I will
have first sock
get
syndrome.
I know, it's okay. I do mark my heels, and then I use this sock as a template for my second sock, and then the last thing that I do is I put the heels in both socks at the same time.
Yeah.
So this is Woolens and Nosh, part of her monthly yarn club. This is from April 2025, and it is Garden Supply, which is an amazing color. The pattern is Library Socks. We'll have that link down below. It's a free pattern, and I was inspired by our friend Olivia. It's a very simple pattern. It's a 4-row repeat. But it's just super easy. You're just doing like 2x2 rib for 2 rows, and then you're knitting for 2 rows, and that's the entire pattern. I opted to just do the pattern on the front of the sock, so I left the back just because I do love the stripes in general.
Yeah.
Even though you can still see them here, But somebody, I can't remember who it was, but we were talking, Kevin had said, like, it looks like a whole scene. Like, you've got the grass and the sky and then the clouds. And somebody said from this side, it looks like you're standing out there looking at it. But then from this side, it looks like you're looking at it through a screen door.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I thought that was really cute.
For sure. I see it.
So, I have, like I said, I have the one fully done with the toe and everything, and then the second one, I cast this on.
You made a lot of progress.
I did. I made a lot of progress. I cast this on Saturday 2 weeks ago when we went to Driftwood.
No, when we went to Driftwood to pick up last weekend when we went to Driftwood, picked up the yarn and went to Skane
Okay, yes, you're right. So last weekend, yes, because I was still working on this sock at Driftwood.
Right.
So I cast this on on last Saturday. And so I'm knitting on this, and I did the cuff, and then while we were in the car on the way there, I ended up joining. So the cuff, I used the contrast or coordinating mini that comes along with this. And then I joined the skein of yarn to that while we were in the car. And for some reason, I don't know if I was distracted or I didn't think ahead, I didn't mark. What I usually do is, because I knit mine on 9-inch circulars, 9-inch circular needles, because I'm only doing the pattern on the front, I put a stitch marker halfway through so that I just know, because otherwise I go on autopilot, and then, know when to transition to just stockinette. When I joined the yarn and started knitting, I forgot to put in that marker. And the whole day, I kept pulling it out and I'm knitting it and I'm like, something's not right. Like, why do I have, I could not, my brain was not functioning for some reason. I could not put 2 and 2 together. I knew, subconsciously that I needed to switch between the pattern and the stockinette. So I got, I don't know, maybe to here or whatever. And I'm like, this is just not right. So I put it away and I was like, screw this. I can't, it's a sock. Why am I having such trouble?
Right.
So then I think it was when we were at dinner, I brought the sock to dinner with us.
Yeah.
And while we were at dinner, I pulled it out to start working on it. And that's when I realized, you dum-dum. You didn't separate. So I had the pattern on half of it, and then I had some patterning here mixed in with stockinette. I don't know. It was a mess. So I had to take the whole thing back. And what I did was I took everything out until the cuff, and then I just picked up around the cuff and joined my yarn. And so here we are. So long story again, longer. I did mark my heel. Look what that middle stitch is holding. This is a Twinkle Dimple. Look at this. How pretty. I love the reflections on this.
Do you know what
it's so good.
I do too, but do you know what I love actually too? Is the triangle.
Yeah.
Going from the bead.
To the clip?
Yeah. That little triangle piece. Mm-hmm. It's just a little bit different. You don't see it often.
So while we were at Skane, Angie, I kind of, I want to say maybe I kind of forced her. She wasn't intending to, but I had asked her, can I try some of these too? She's trying out some new, new products, clips and different things like that, and all different sizes. So I said, I would love to try. So this is one of her, what's the word I'm looking? Prototypes.
Yeah. I do like those. One of my favorites.
I like this one. This is my favorite for knitting, for socks. Fingering weight yarn.
One of my favorites is the circular, lobster claw.
I have one of those.
Those are, I think, one of my favorites.
So I think I prefer these style, the lobster claw ones.
Because they're easier to open.
Yeah. For me, they're easier to open. But for knitting, I think for knitting with fingering weight yarn, it hooks on super nicely. Easy. Yeah. So I mark for my heels, I mark the 2 edge stitches and then the middle stitch, so I know which row to cut out. So anyway, I did a German twisted cast on. I did a 2x1 rib, which is now going to be my go-to ribbing. I think it looks so...
it looks clean.
Clean. Yeah. Like, and put together. I did that for, I think, about 20 rows or so, 15 to 20 rows. And then started the joined the yarn or whatever it's called. So I want to use up the majority of this yarn. I think I'm not going to do it. I still have a lot, but I'm going to use the rest of this yarn to put in the heels.
And you're almost done because you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, I think I have 5, 6 color stripes left.
Yeah. So here's where I am. So
you could totally finish that this weekend.
I'm gonna. My goal is today, because we're taking it easy after the podcast. We didn't make any plans.
We have no plans
this weekend, which is great. We're gonna putz around the house. I got laundry going and all that stuff, but not that you guys care. So my goal is to finish. I will finish this today.
Nice.
And then I probably will be able to start the heels today as well. I was so nervous because I've done a pair of socks every month since January. So this is my 6th pair this year. And I've succeeded at finishing it within that month.
Yeah.
So the night before last, I was like, I'm never going to finish these socks. Oh man, that's kind of stinks. Because I was here. I had just finished this light green color.
Last night?
No, yesterday. Day before yesterday.
Oh yeah,
right. Is this a green, golden, green color?
Light green.
Yeah. So I was there. So I was like, I'm never gonna do it. So but I was like, let's just see. Let's just do it. So then I got all the way. Like I put that night in just like 2 or 3 hours. I was able to get to like here or something like that. And then last night is when I was like, you know what? I think I could do it.
Yeah.
So I knit from here to here just, last night. So now I have all day. I think it was good. Yeah. I'm really happy with it. I think it's really a cute pattern. And I don't have a lot of pattern socks.
No, especially self-striping. I think you have two pattern self-striping.
Maybe.
That I can, if not, maybe only one.
Yeah. Oh, and look. How appropriate.
I know.
I didn't even mean to do
job.
That. Thanks. So that is that. I'm going to can try to work on these during the podcast too, because I really would like to get these done. And then I'm super excited. I'm going to wait till I show you in acquisitions. We got the latest color for June. I think it's June's.
Yes.
Yep, it's June's. And I'm going to start those immediately. Those will be my July socks. Yay.
Fun.
I know.
All right. So before I head into my whip, I've been thinking about this.
Okay.
So I wanted to do a tip.
Oh, I love tips.
Right. So, because I've been skinning up a lot of yarn. And we have all had this happen to us. You buy a beautiful skein of yarn, you go home and you go to skein it up, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Right? So, what you can do to, number one, to try to avoid that, is once you unskein the skein, untwist it, like do the little like thwacking thing, and you can feel sometimes that there's a tension on one or two of the strands. So you can look for that tension or look for that strand and see if it's facing the correct direction. The other thing to do is the ties. Like this skein has 3, right? Yeah, 3. So I look at the ties. So I'll pull one, and you can see, right? So you look at the tie and look at all the strands in the area and see if they're facing the right direction. If not, for instance, you would see it folded over that string.
Oh, yeah.
And then just put it back in the right direction, and that should help. One of the areas that you're going to find it probably the most is here where you have your 4 strands. When you pull it, you have these 4 strands, and it can be a little confusing because the way that the yarn is tied. But if you look in this area too, just make sure all of them, again, are facing the right direction and none of them are going over the strand. Like here, no, that one's right. But yeah, you can easily see if it's just facing the wrong direction and it's pulling on it. Just go through and tidy them up. And that should prevent any like tangling when you're trying to wind it into a cake.
And like there's nothing more frustrating sometimes than like when you're just like, okay, I'm just going to wind this up real quick. You put it on your Swift, you start winding, and then next thing you know, like everything gets stuck.
Remember in the apartment when I first started knitting, like you weren't knitting or crocheting. I didn't have a Swift. I didn't have a ball winder. Mm-hmm. I would put the yarn on the back of a chair and try to do it. And and especially if it was a tangled mess, like, oh my gosh, that was the most frustrating thing, like trying to untangle that. I do love untangling yarn though. It's very satisfying.
It is satisfying, but like when you're just like wanting to get down and start your project.
Yes.
Like, it's like, come on.
Yeah, but definitely the thwacking of it when you do this.
Thwack.
It most of the time you can feel the difference. You can feel that tension on one or two of the strands to try to figure out if it's going to be okay or not. All right. So my first whip, I'm going to show. We've seen it.
We love it.
It's living in my Paradise Island bag, which we don't think you can get anymore.
Yeah, I know.
The website's down.
Yeah.
So this is my jelly roll blanket, and I just finished one of the strips today, and I wove in some of the ends. But last time you guys saw it, I was here, and I finished all of this.
Kev, it's so freaking wonderful.
So I currently have 7 strips done. Am I showing you the right side? I am. So here we go. Look at this. So fun. Oh my gosh, it's actually quite long.
It is.
Let's just keep going. So yeah.
Here, let's start it from here and then we'll like drop it down. All right, so. Whoa. Kev, it's fabulous. Oh, we were doing so well.
I know. What was really interesting was this one.
It's so squishy.
That I started working on last night. I did not expect this to look like a self-striping. I don't know if it is or it isn't. Because I got this yarn from Skein last weekend.
Yeah. It's definitely not self-striping. It's just maybe the way that it was.
Yeah, the way that it pulled. It was really interesting. This I know some Savvy Skeins when I was doing her bird club.
I forgot about that.
This I think is Amanda Knits. This is Needles at the Ready. This I have no idea. This is... I don't know either.
Isn't that Pistachio?
No.
Or the...
No.
Oh, that might have been Ching.
This might be a mini, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I know. This is Emma's yarn. So this is fun. So this pattern is Jelly Roll Blanket by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears.
Yep.
I am knitting it on on these. So 2.75 millimeter needles or US 2. I'm using 5-inch double point needles. I started on 6-inch ones. The 5-inch actually have been much better. These are Dreams. Dreams are the first double pointed needles I bought, and my first interchangeable set of needles were these. And I love these. They're wood. I think that's a good option for a first interchangeable set.
Yeah.
I am using the join from the Crazy Sock Lady to just clean this up. I love the join. And I know some people think this should not be the front of it, but it is because it's supposed to look like the seams of a jelly roll blanket on the back when you sew the strips together. And it's a nice way to use leftover yarn. So each of my strips are 20 stitches wide.
Oh,
I currently have 447 grams of leftover yarn in this blanket. And I'm probably only half done. So that means that by the end, this blanket is going to be roughly 900 to 1,000 grams of yarn.
So
that's about 10 full skeins of leftovers.
Wow.
From other projects.
What a good feeling that is.
Yeah.
So you're almost halfway done.
I am. I think I'm going to go somewhere between... Ray, do you think like definitely at least double this width?
Yeah.
And I think double this width might be okay.
I don't know if you need to go fully double that width.
You don't think so?
That's like a queen size. I mean,
I don't know.
Maybe 4 more stripes.
You think only 4?
Yeah, because that's... yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think you need to double your width.
Huh. I could finish this
you do
quickly,
whatever you want. I think that it's...
It might move quickly then, because this... I did this last night, this part of it.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I did a really good amount last night. So... It surprisingly, for fingering weight, it does move pretty quickly.
It's so nice to see everybody's, like, there are quite a few people still like that are knitting on these, to see all the different versions. You know, like, it's same but different, you know, and it looks like a completely different blanket, clearly with the different colors, but like, you can be very choosy with what colors you want to pull out, or you just can be completely random.
So what was fun, actually, when I was weaving in some of the ends this morning, and even just these two, they were really fun for me, because these are just really quick blips of color. Like, that's you know what, maybe
6 rows.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 18 rows of knitting.
That looks 9, because it's garter.
9 garter bumps.
Yeah.
Probably same. This one is probably the same thing. So even just those little bits can add a fun little pop to it. And I have been trying to do colors that are 20 grams or less. Probably less than that. Here's another 2 like really quick colors. So it's going to be super fun. I can't wait for it to be done. I definitely want it done before the fall. So I have this all fall and winter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will measure it today when we go downstairs. I'll lay it out and measure it, see how wide it is, and then make a decision how many more strips I'm going to add.
Yeah, because I really don't think that...
You might be right. Like 7 more could be a little excessive.
Yeah.
What I do want to make, though...
Because you were looking for it to be like a throw, like on the couch to snuggle up with, like not over the bed or anything like that.
Now what I want to make, though, thank you, Justine, is I want to make the anthology.
Oh, I know. Hers was gorgeous.
So then I thought, like, do I need to buy an advent? No, I don't need to buy an advent.
We have...
Don't talk about stuff. We don't have... I know we do. But I'm just thinking of a color palette.
We have 3 advents in the closet.
Were they ones that we chose?
Some maybe were gifted to us, and others we purchased. Like the Lollipop yarns, I think. Lollipop Girl yarns or whatever.
I think some of them are in there. Actually, no. I'm using that for my other blanket. I have that advent. A lot of that advent actually is downstairs for my...
Perfect.
Molly from the Homespun House. Cozy
One
Comfort.
day we should grab that giant duffel bag full of minis.
True.
Have you gone through that lately?
That's where I pulled the Lollipop ones from.
Okay.
But I did think if I can go through colors and I could do a theme, like a color progression.
Yeah. That would be cool.
And find like 25 colors to do for that, maybe for next year once this one's done. All right, so that's my first whip.
All right, nice. I have, I can go if you'd like. I mean, I don't have much more, to be honest.
I mean, I do and don't. I have 3 more.
Why don't you go then? Because I really have... I have one thing, but there's like... I'm talking about 2 things, and I will... Maybe I'll show the other... The crochet... The other Tunisian crochet thing, but I ended up taking that back too.
Okay. So next up is a new cast on. I cast this on last Saturday when we were at Skane. I caked this yarn up right before we left. All right. So this is... I feel like I haven't knit a hat in a bit, and I wanted a hat, and I decided I wanted to use some hand spun.
I love this.
So I went to my favorite hat pattern of all time and figured I would cast this on. This is the Hatch Hat by, I want to say it's Emily Green. Am I wrong?
No, it's Emily Green. Yeah.
It's a Brooklyn Tweed pad.
But I think originally it was Emily Green.
Okay.
Well,
you guys have seen it. Over the years, I think I've knit like 5 or 6. So this is the Hatch hat. It is a fully ribbed hat, but the ribbing changes throughout. I always knit this version, so I have the folded brim. Mm-hmm. It does require or recommends a DK weight yarn. The yarn, it is Emily Green.
Yeah.
So it recommends Brooklyn Tweed Arbor, which, if you know, now Brooklyn Tweed is no longer making yarn. So,
but they are still developing like patterns and
their website's just their patterns.
Yeah, and their tutorials were really good too.
They are. So this is knit using a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter needle. I do the recommended cast on, which is a cable cast on.
Yeah, the cable
cast on. And here is the hand spun that I'm using. This is 100% Polworth. I don't have the tag with me. I
cannot believe that this is your hand spun. It looks so even.
Thank you.
It's really beautiful, Kev.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do like this color. So here is where I'm at. I'm working on the ribbing.
And, I'm so glad that you carried on, because at first you're like, you know what, I don't think this is going to work. Remember that?
I did, and there were a couple things. I don't know because handspun is very inconsistent in the thick and thin, mm-hmm. and because this is a 2-ply handspun, it's not very round. And my favorite versions of the Hatch hat that I've made are with Brooklyn Tweed Arbor, because it's
a very round yarn, yeah.
Very round. It's worsted spun, not woolen spun.
Right.
And it is a 3-ply. So it just gives really good definition to the ribbing. So I am still quite concerned about the definition of this ribbing, especially when I get to some of the other sections of it. And I wasn't sure if it would show, if the striping, that kind of just happens with some hand spun from my experience, which is very limited in knitting with it. But I don't mind the striping in this. I think the striping's cute. Mm-hmm. I like the blue and the gray. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I was a blue Power Ranger in my past life.
Yeah, you were.
So,
you know what it is?
It's just such a good hat pattern. Yeah. It is the best fitting hat that I've worn and knit. Mm-hmm. I recommend, if you are looking for a hat for somebody and you just want a really basic ribbed hat, this is just a little bit more elevated.
Yeah.
It's a little more interesting, and it fits so well.
I was gonna say too, I think I see what your point is with the ribbing, because the hat itself looks almost like a sophisticated hat, right? Like very well, like clean lines, and you could like high definition. This is like rustic sophistication. Like it's still gonna look very sophisticated, but have that little, like, it'll look like it's handmade, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's going to be beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
The Hatch hat is my most worn hat. I have a orange one, so I made one out of Brooklyn Tweed Arbors in the colorway Butte. Mm-hmm. That, I think it's Butte. That's my most worn hat. Yeah. I wear that. During the wintertime, I wear that in the house pretty much every day.
Yeah, we have a sample that I knit.
Out of
Mountain Silver Moonlight. Oh, it's stunning. I should probably go get it. I'm gonna go
sample?
get it. Yeah,
it's in the spare room.
Yeah, I know. I saw it because I had to put the other stuff there.
So yeah, this is a great pattern. If you guys haven't made it, I highly recommend it. It is hands down my favorite hat pattern. It is what's really nice too is that the crown decreases have a chart. So there's a chart in there. There's also written instructions if you like that. And it just kind of goes pretty quickly, even though it's all ribbing.
Yeah.
I wish I remember I don't know.
So this is
where my tag is.
The difference. This is our yarn. This isn't the Achilles DK.
Can you do me one more favor?
What?
On the right next to the dresser is my favorite one.
On the dresser?
Right in next to it, on the plastic, on the thing for our socks.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, they're really, really pretty.
This was the first one I ever made.
Yeah.
And this is literally my most worn hat. I need to probably clean it and wash it. But this is, I love this hat.
Yeah. This is it in our Achilles DK base and Silver Moonlight. It really is. This yarn is also very round. Yes, it's a 4-ply. So you can see how plump it is, but how clean those lines are.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it's a very sophisticated like type of, hat. I think like it looks very like polished, if that's the that's the word.
It's a great
So
it's a great version of a ribbed hat.
Yours with the
striping.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have the same exact. Obviously, it's the same pattern, but it's gonna look like.
I think it will become my most worn hat.
Yeah, it's gonna be perfect. All
I'm
that to say, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm gonna block this today.
I don't think this was blocked.
No, it was.
I think so. It's really good. This is Silver Moonlight, y'all.
Yeah.
I think we have some on the website.
We do. I think I have some up here. All right.
It's a great color.
So that is my next whip. Again, Hatch by Emily Green.
Perfect.
All right, you're up.
All right, I'll go up next. Let me show you this.
Look at us. We're an hour in and we're not even through whips.
Well, Juno. I guess I'll talk about this. Okay, so a friend of mine, one of my close friends who I used to work with, is having a baby, and she's due in 2 weeks. And I realized that I didn't have anything on the needles for the baby, and so needed to get something done. I also had an itch to crochet. I wasn't feeling the knitting for some reason. So I wanted to crochet, and I was like, okay, I want to make a crocheted baby blanket. I do know that there's like 2 camps with making baby blankets, especially with crochet. Some people think that the gaps between the yarn, the little holes that sometimes is created depending on the pattern that you use, may or may not be good for the babies. They might get their fingers stuck in it or their toes or whatever. So I was looking for a pattern that eliminated that those gaps and those eyelets and holes and things that you would get with traditional like crochet, I guess. And so I found a stitch that's called the lemon peel stitch, and I'm sure all of you crocheters out there are like, yes, of course. There's also another stitch, self stitch or something like that. I'm not quite sure. That does that. So
sorry.
No, you're good. So I had a lot of I had some DK minis, or leftover yarn.
Well, you ripped out your jelly roll.
Sitting there because I did rip out. Well, not all of it. I still have one strip of my jelly roll, and then the join that I kind of created for my jelly roll wasn't really jiving the more that I was doing it, so I ended up ripping out that second column. Long story longer, again. We should name that episode Long Story Longer. I was like, let me just try this stitch, and so I grabbed a 4mm crochet hook, and some leftover DK yarn, and...
Is that Twilight?
It is Twilight.
Okay.
And I just kind of made it. The stitch is super easy. All the stitches is you're chaining an even number of stitches, and then you basically crochet. You do a single crochet and then a double crochet, and you repeat that all the way through, ending on a double crochet, and then you just keep repeating that. So you chain one, and then you single crochet, double crochet all the way through, chain one, turn, single, double, all the way through.
So it kind of like a seed stitch in knitting, right? Where it's on the reverse side, it's the opposite of what you did.
Correct, because you are putting your single crochets in your previous row's double crochet. You're putting your double crochet in the previous row's single crochet.
Gotcha.
So exactly. Yeah. So anyway, it creates I think this is really, really, really pretty.
It is.
Yeah. So
it makes a pretty dense.
It is a denser fabric for sure. but there are no, like, none of those little gaps.
Yeah.
And whether or not that's a real thing, I'm not sure, but just, I love the look of it. I think it looks very elegant as well. So I got through like 4 colors of this, and then while we were at Driftwood, I think I'm going to continue. I think I might continue to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But I might need to make it bigger because I think I might want to do a blanket for me. Oh, that might be big enough.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Maybe that'll be big enough for a throw. Maybe I'll continue to do this. So I didn't want to take this out because when we were in Driftwood, I also feel like a fingering weight blanket would take significantly longer.
But this isn't fingering weight.
Oh, DK. Yeah. Well, yes. I thought that this blanket would take significantly longer. And I only have... She's due in 2 weeks. She's having a scheduled C-section. So then, while we were at Driftwood, this goes into an acquisition, which will be good because during our acquisitions phase, it'll look like I got less. I found this yarn called Major by Universal Yarns. Have y'all seen this before? It's 100% acrylic. It's super, super soft. I love the colors, and wait till you see what I have so far. So I thought that this would be really great. I'd be able to get a blanket done pretty quick. Mm-hmm. It's a bulky weight yarn, so it's 7 ounces or 200 grams for 328 yards. It's only $13 for for that amount, which is great. So Universal Yarns Major is the brand or the type of yarn that it is, and the colorway. This one is called Caladium, Caladium. And it's like these cute like pinks and purples. And so I got 2 skeins of that, thinking that would be enough for a small little baby blanket. Long story short, I did not have enough, so I did need to get another skein, but I'll talk about it in a sec. And I'm doing the exact same thing. The what's it called? Stitch, lemon peel stitch. But here's what I have so far.
Oh wow, you made a lot of progress on this too. You would think we don't live in the same house.
I know. So I think this is. I don't know. I think this is stunning. I think it's
cute.
So cute.
Yeah.
The colors are outstanding.
They really are.
In my opinion. Yeah. It did a great job of like fading into each other and striping.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah. I don't know the number of stitches that I chained the number of chains that I did, but I think that it's definitely going to be a larger blanket. So it's about 36 inches, long. And my goal is to have it just as wide, so it should be like a perfect square.
Okay.
So this is the Caladium colorway. This is where I had chained on. Did it all the way up to here. So that's 1 full skein of that yarn. When I measured it, I believe it only measured like 16 inches or something like that. It wasn't, and I knew it wasn't going to be enough to get me to like a perfect square with the second skein. So when we went to go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
When we went to go to the second shop to pick up the yarn from Driftwood, I picked up, I wanted to pick up a 3rd skein. However, they did not have the color for that.
No, keep talking.
So I ended up trying to find another color that I thought would go really well, that I would put in the middle of the 2 of them. And so I got this guy here, and this is called Strawberry Punch. And I think that they look like really good together.
They do.
Like
it complements the pink in here, so
yep.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
So I'll have the strawberry fields in the middle. I probably won't use the entire skein, depending on what what the length is going to end up being. You just measured, so what was it?
So it was about 16 to 17 inches for the first skein. So that was going to be my question. If you wanted it to be a perfect square, were you going to...
Can you measure how long this is then? Since you have the tape measure.
Well, we're going to get rough estimates because it's not on a flat surface. Sorry. So it's roughly 38. Actually, more like 39. So let's call it 40. So you're going to need 40 by 40. So if this first section was 17 and you duplicate that, you're going to get to 34. So this section here only needs to be 6 inches to get like.
And I think I'm about like 4.5 or so.
No, you are at 6 inches. So you're actually at 6.5, 7.
Oh, all right.
So you would need to stop with this and then.
That's perfect.
Add in that.
And then I'll start in this second. I'll start in this this other section.
What I would recommend doing personally with that yarn, can you pull out that skein again? The second blue and pink. I was just trying to think like where you would pull from.
It doesn't matter.
No. I was going to see if you could get it like matchy because it looks like it starts here.
I think if I go matchy, it'll look like it's broken up. I want it to kind of blend all together. I feel like this blended nice.
Yeah,
you know?
True. So maybe pull from the inside so you start with some
pink. I've been doing them from the inside, yeah.
And maybe you'll start with pink so it blends right back in.
I think that's what I'm going to do. And then what I'll do is I'll use the leftover of this, to do a border around it.
Do you think you'd have enough to do a border? Like a single crochet?
I would just do like single crochet or probably just like a single crochet border.
Could you?
Should be enough.
Okay.
I have to measure.
Yeah.
But it looks like a good amount of yarn. Although it is bulky, so it does go pretty fast.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is just the lemon peel blanket. I probably could have gone a lot smaller for a baby blanket, but this way she can have it
for a long time.
For a really long time. But I think the colors are really cute.
I'm interested to see like if it, not after blocking, but after washing, like how, if it becomes a little drapier.
Yeah, it might.
Dense, you know?
It is dense. So so my goal is to throw this in the washing machine and the dryer.
Yeah.
Because it's acrylic and just like kind of see what happens. It's not like super stiff or anything like that. No, it's
not
just,
at all.
It is a denser fabric. It's going to be super warm. For the newborn's going to get swallowed up by this, so I doubt she'll use this until she gets a little older.
Correct.
But so that's that. And then this is another one of the clips.
Those are
from Angie.
Those are my favorite types. Yeah. That circular one.
Yep. And this one is perfect for crochet, because it's easy to open and close, and it can wrap because it's round and it can wrap around different stitches depending on what you want to mark. Like sometimes, like trying to put a stitch marker over like a double crochet or like a post of a triple crochet or something like that might be a little bit bulkier. So these, I think, work really well for crochet projects.
I like those as progress keepers, the round ones.
Those personally. Are good. Yeah, I don't know why. I just like the lobster. I like the lobster claw. So that's been a bulk of, no pun intended, of what I've been working on.
It's going to be cute.
I think it's going to be cute too. And it's just single crochet and double crochet. And once you get going, I know I've crocheted like a bunch of things, but I sometimes have a really difficult time reading my crochet. And so this pattern is helping me to learn to better recognize and read my crochets.
Oh, that's
because
good.
I know that I've got to do a single crochet in the top of a double crochet and then the double in the single. And so it's like it makes sense to me now. Like it's much easier for me to differentiate between the single crochet and the double crochet.
I can't recrochet.
So, well, I mean, yeah, this clip, that's all I can do right now with this pattern is the single and the double. Anything else, I have no idea. But, and I'm sorry, I'm using a 6mm or J crochet hook for this project because that is I think it was one of the recommended hook sizes. Yeah, so the recommended crochet hook size for this is US size J10 or 6mm crochet hook, and that's what I did.
Nice.
Yeah. Same for knitting. If you want to use a US size 10 or a 6mm to get 15 stitches and 20 rows over a 4-inch. But of course, who does gauge swatches?
I know, right?
A baby blanket. Not me. Okay.
All right, so sticking with the crochet train, my next whip is the Juniper cowl by TL Yarn Crafts or Tony Lipsy.
Yeah.
So this I was inspired by Laura over at Yarn Room Shenanigans. She was wearing one a couple episodes ago, and I haven't crocheted since this time last year when we were doing the cardigans. So it is living in my beautiful sister bag. And I'm using scrap yarn for this. And I've made a little bit of progress. I'm using the recommended hook, which is a 4mm USG.
And our favorite crochet hooks, or at least mine, are the Clover Amore hooks.
Yes. Yeah. And here is where I'm at. So this is actually meant for an advent, I believe. I'm trying to see. It does say something like that. 10 different color minis is what it's meant for. I'm clearly not following those instructions. But here's where I was last time you guys saw it, down here.
I love it.
At this Progress Keeper. This is just my beginning of the repeat that I'm doing. And this stitch is a puff stitch, which is super fun to knit. It was really easy to pick up. I just watched Tony's video real quick. So I'm on the third color. I started here with, I think this is a Little Nugget. I have no idea what these two are, but I am almost done with the third color. And now I need to make a decision on what I'm going to do for the rest of this cowl. Mm-hmm. I need to decide if I'm going to go into a different color family.
Oh, I love this.
And do another light to dark with the next 3 colors.
How long is this cowl? Pretty long?
So it would use, I would think, 200 grams of yarn. 10, 20 gram minis. So here, to me, that looks like a pretty long cowl. Oh, here's the dimensions. So the top opening is 22 inches. The bottom is 36 and the length is 20. And that's all after wet blocking it. So and
this is non-superwash, so it's probably,
yeah, I'm only currently at 6 3/4 of an inch.
I said non-superwash. It's superwash.
Superwash. Yeah, so I'm only at 6 3/4 of an inch.
Okay.
So I still have a good 13 inches to crochet.
The stitch is so, it looks so delicate.
It is, and it's very drapey.
Super drapey and super soft. That yarn is fabulous.
So this is another good one for scraps or minis that you have in your stash. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with the color. I don't know if I have something that's in this same family that's darker that I could get a lot of length out of. So I almost feel like I need to go to a different color family now and do a kind of like a repeat, do light. I wouldn't.
I love the colors, these colors.
I do too.
Like, it would be so nice to stick with it, but what kind of color family would you go to?
I don't know. The only thing that I just thought of is I could do... Would this be too similar? If I did this?
The tiger's eye?
Yeah, if I did tiger's eye below it.
That would look nice.
Maybe. And then maybe I would just call it whatever I got out of a full skein of fingering weight yarn.
Can you do... We don't have any more leftovers? Like, how about some minis?
Well, we have a ton of leftovers. But I was just trying to... I don't know if I have any more leftovers in this color family. I did think of going to a like gray orange because it could complement it.
I think the tiger's eye looks really nice with it, to be honest.
Yeah, so I just have to figure that out. But if you are a beginner crocheter, I think that this is a really good pattern to try. The puff stitch is very easy to do. The increases in this are easy. You don't do them too often, and you can see them like right here's an increase. Right there where you just do 2 puff stitches into 1 stitch. So I keep track of it with this. It's where I did my last one. And because the increases, this spirals, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So like your beginning around kind of moves. So I don't really have to keep track of that. I've been keeping track of it by counting the stitches on a diagonal.
Oh, that's a smart idea.
Right? So like if I started here, I did an increase, then I know I've done 1, 2, 3 rows since it, and I think I have to do 7 before every increase. So yeah, this, and I'm not making this for anybody in particular. This is just going to go in a gift bin. I thought, again, it was just a good way to use up some scraps.
Yeah, and try a new stitch.
Yeah, and to do some crochet, because I haven't done any in a really long time.
Yeah.
But that leads me to another thing, speaking of scraps. This full thing was stuffed with scrap yarns.
Oh, yeah.
So what I do is with all my ends now, after weaving them in and cutting them off, I have a mason jar downstairs, or we do, rather, and I just throw any leftovers in there, and I pulled all leftover yarn scraps to stuff this.
I haven't been contributing, so I need to start doing that.
Yeah, it's actually really nice to just be able to go in there instead of using some polyfill.
Oh, yeah.
For the small projects, at least.
Absolutely.
Right, so that's that whip, and I only have one more. What do you have?
I can definitely show this whip again, because I am going to start working on it again, because it was so much fun when I was at Skein. I forgot how much fun this is.
Oh.
This is the Hudson Tassel Throw by TL Yarn Crafts, Tony Lipsy. I pulled this back out again. It is, hold on, I'm just trying to get fixing twisting
stitch.
Thanks. Okay. It's a Tunisian crochet blanket in, I forgot the name of the stitch, a honeycomb stitch. Yeah. So I think it's a really beautiful textured blanket. I had to pull it out, unfortunately, because the edge, what I noticed on this side was one of my rows, the edge, I must have missed picking up the stitch at the end. So I had to rip out about 3 inches or so.
Yeah, because it started going in, right?
Yeah, it started going at an angle. But the great thing about crochet is that it's so easy to rip out and just start again. So I did mark. So after ripping it out, I did another row, and then I marked it. So the next time you see this, we'll know where I was. But I just wanted to pull it back out again. The yarn is fabulous. It is a Barocco vintage chunky. And the colorway is Smoke. Vintage Barocco Vintage Chunky. It's smoke. I'm not 100% sure what the content is right now because I don't know where the ball bands are. But maybe there's cotton in there. Oh, here we go. Vintage Chunky. It is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. So forget what I just said about the cotton. And this is what it looks like. Vintage Chunky. It's great. It's a bulky weight yarn. I think the colorway is smoke, right?
Yeah, because smoke.
Yep. So yeah, I wanted to just this is like I said, I ended up having negative progress on this, but
hey,
I'm super excited to start this back up again. Figures I'd be knitting all these freaking blankets in the summertime.
I know, and
what the hell?
So it's funny you said that. So I was thinking as you pulled that out,
how
many blankets are we going to have in this house when we're done? Because I currently have 3 on my needles.
Yeah, well, it's about time. We've been crafting, fiber-related crafting for how many years? And we have zero blankets.
But now we're currently working. Well, you're working on 2 for the house, technically, right? Because you do have a jelly roll, and you have that one from the crochet one.
And I think I want to do this too.
So you're working on 3 for the house.
And I think I also have a.
We do have one. We never use it though. We have that big freaking bulky Karen cake one that's in the closet that is it camo looking? It was black and white or black and gray.
Oh, I gave that to my mom.
Okay, so we don't have one.
We don't have one.
And I know of.
And it was Red Heart or Lion Brand.
Lion Brand, that big cake.
That super cake
that we still have more of in here. Yeah, we do. We have at least 1.5 of those big cakes here. And I have at least one more.
I used it to make an octopus for Riley, remember?
Yes, that I want to make. So we're going to have we're going to have to get rid of all the throws that we actually have once these are done.
Good. We need a little.
All right. My last whip is living in my hide and hammer bag. My roll top. I don't know what number this is. I feel like it's a number 8. So this actually had some negative progress as well, but then I got past the negative progress and I have positive progress. This is my Finest Kind sweater by Alicia Plummer.
Yes. Oh, I need a bigger bag.
This is knit out of Harrisville Designs sheer Wellscroft Dorset.
Say that 5 times fast.
In the colorway Morel. Do I have a tag here? I think I put one in the pocket. If not, no, I didn't. I don't have a tag. Do I have a skein up here for it? I don't know.
What are you looking for?
A skein of this yarn.
Yeah, I have it here.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. So we're going to talk about this. I think Ray mentioned this in the... No, that's yours.
All right, calm down.
In the last one, where it's really important to read a pattern fully when you're working on it. So this, again, is the sheer Wellscroft Dorset and Morel, and we picked this up at Harrisville Designs when we went in April.
It was fun.
It was. So, where the heck am I? All right. There's a lot going on here.
Oh my gosh, every time you pull it out, I know I've said it a million times, it's
so sheepy.
So sheepy.
All right, so I don't know where I was last time, but I'm not much further. All right, so this is the back. So the back is done. I'm currently working on...
It's huge.
The front.
That's a lot of knitting.
It is. I'm currently working on the front. And what happened is I got to maybe even a little bit past here. And my stitch count, I had too many stitches. And what had happened, was I didn't read the pattern, and I was supposed to do some decreases down here. Yeah, I was supposed to...
armhole decreases?
Yeah, I actually pulled it back all the way back here. And I was supposed to do decreases here to have the correct number of stitches here. And I did not. So I pulled it all. So yeah, I guess I did make some progress. I pulled it all the way back here, did my decreases, and on both sides actually, because I had joined some new yarn, and now I've split for the neck. So I'm working the left side, the left front side. I split at the neck. I'm working this flat. I think I'm at the point where I need to do some short row shaping and then a 3 needle bind off. Left front. I do some short rows. Yeah, and then I'm almost done with this. So I could potentially finish the body of this weekend. So I might shoot to do that. And then I just have the sleeves.
And the sleeves, are they knit in the round?
They are knit in the round, but you do start with kind of like working a cap.
Okay, so back and forth a little bit.
I do love that this is a bunch of different kind of techniques for a knitting bottom up.
Yeah.
In the round for me. The only time I've done bottom up in the round was my
Your
black
Rodari.
I don't have a Rodari. You have the same company, the black and gray one that I did that Bob and I both have.
Oh yeah, what is that called? I forgot.
I feel like it's a male's name.
Me too.
It's not Ivan. That's the cardigan.
That's the cardigan that we don't talk
John.
about.
It's a John sweater.
The John sweater.
John sweater. So that, I think, was bottom up. The only other bottom up I've done was his home office, but that was in pieces. So this is bottom up in the round until you get to sleeve separation. And then you do the back. Then you come back and do the front. And once you join it and you do the sleeves, you're working how you normally would for a top down one. You're working from the shoulder down, but you have to build out a shoulder cap. So you do some short rows as you build that out. So it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see how that's going to work, how the patterning is going to work with decreases. My row gauge is off. My row gauge is looser, so I'm going to have to take that into consideration when I'm picking up stitches for the sleeves.
Yeah.
Because I won't be picking up as many stitches as recommended. So I'll have to kind of try this on as I go to see how it's fitting in my upper arm and if I need to do as many decreases as recommended. I am knitting this on the recommended needle sizes. That's a false statement. Is it?
I think you went back to the recommended.
I am knitting recommended needle sizes, but I'm knitting a size smaller because my gauge is looser, so I should get closer to the size that I want. And I hope that makes sense. So I am knitting the third size, which is for a 44.5 chest circumference. Because I'm looser, I should get closer to a 47 to 8.
Which is the positive ease that you want.
That I wanted. I actually won't hate if I get more than 4 inches of positive ease, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I am using a US 8, which is a 5 millimeter, and I used a US 6, which is a 4 millimeter. I did alter the ribbing. The ribbing calls for 3 inches. I only did 2. I just like the look a little bit better. I didn't want that much ribbing. So I'm going to try to do the same thing at my neckline. And I will do 3 inches on my sleeve, though.
Okay.
I like the fold over look in the picture.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find a good shot of that. So, yeah, I liked the smaller ribbing here. And
me too.
More ribbing
there. Oh yeah, because it's folded up, it looks like.
Yeah, it's folded up. Mm-hmm. So I'm probably going to do the same thing.
It's a very cute look.
Yeah, I think it's going to be stunning when it's done.
Me too.
I'm really excited for it. So, with most sweaters, I feel like once you get through the body, the sleeves just kind of fly for me personally. And even though this is a moss stitch, it's gone by pretty quickly. The knitting and purling doesn't really bother me. I enjoy purling. And I do feel like, I don't know that it's actually so obvious anymore. The difference of when I split.
No, and that's what I was saying. I think once it's blocked out.
It's right
here.
Yeah, there's a line. So
that'll
should
absolutely block out. 100%.
Yeah, it should block out. But, yeah, so I actually haven't worked on it since that weekend. Shortly after the last podcast, I worked on it, ripped it out, and then picked it back up and made a little progress on it. So hopefully now that our lives have kind of calmed down, I could get back to knitting on this.
Totes.
All right, so that is all of our FOs and our whips. We now have...
I need to cross my legs or something. Okay.
All right, where do you want to go next?
Let's talk about your yarn.
Okay.
We haven't talked about your yarn in a while.
Yeah, so I'm going to show some yarn that's in the shop. And some of these have small quantities, like just a couple, but they're colors I haven't. Some of them are colors I haven't dyed. I'm going to show some new colors that will be in by the end of the week. So first up, and this is
going to... Our website is linked down below. If you're interested, it's needlesattheready.com is where you can find all of this yarn.
All right, so first I'll go with some of the 75-25 fingering, the Achilles base, or Achilles fingering. So first up is Ghost Water.
So Ghost Water is...
It's really popular.
It's if not my favorite colorway that you dye. I think it's so good. I want a sweater out of this.
It can lean blue. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get a little green. Undertone of some green or even some magenta in it. Oh. Because it is dyed using blue, magenta, and yellow.
I see mostly blue when I look at it.
Yeah, most of the time it leans blue. It is definitely a blue, but as is the nature with hand-dyed yarn, you can get some tonality in it, and you can see those. It's not super obvious, but yeah, it's definitely a popular color.
One of these days I am 100% having gonna do a sweater with that.
So then we have Tiger's Eye, which is a gold color with some variation, like some light and dark bits, and then some light and dark speckles in it.
Tiger's Eye is another beautiful colorway. Our friend Meg. Not Megan. Meg. I don't know. Maybe Megan's her real name, but who the hell knows?
Probably is, but
from
it is Megan. But nobody calls her Megan.
No, we call her Meg. Knit a sweater with Tiger's Eye. I know we talked about it. It looks absolutely stunning. There was no pooling. Did she alternate skeins? Do you know?
I don't recall. But
it's a beautiful sweater.
It also is knit sideways.
Yeah. Sidewinder.
It could be that. This is a more saturated version of Florals for Spring Groundbreaking. So this is just going to be called Florals.
I think I prefer this one. I like the vibrancy.
I love the original.
Yeah.
And then this is another favorite.
This is just a perfect
This is
springtime
Dreamcatcher.
Yeah.
So it is undyed, a very light gray with some brown gold speckles, which is really fun. Sometimes you get here, you get a little magenta-y color, a blue. You get some greens sometimes, some purples. This looks really good in a sweater.
Yeah, and this was inspired by one of you.
Somebody, yeah.
Yeah, you're...
Somebody asked for a custom colorway.
Based on the colors of their horse.
Yeah, so I dyed that, and the horse's name was Dreamcatcher. So,
yeah,
but I loved it so much I kept it.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
And actually, I think that... Oh, I didn't bring that one up. But these two would pair really well together, and there's another color on the site called... I don't think I brought it up. Toasted Caramel, which I think it would pair really nicely with. That's a brownie... Like a brown.
You know what goes really well together is Ghost Water and Pistachio Brittle. Do you have those two?
I do, but I haven't seen
them
them
And then Pistachio
together.
Brittle.
Where did you see those two together?
No, that's a lie. Pistachio Brittle and the new pink color. Do you have that?
I do, but that's not going to be on the website, the pink yet, because I need to dye more of it.
Just wait.
So it's just a little crush. Mm-hmm. So it's just a very heavily speckled colorway with some pinks and purples. And again, once it the speckles break, you get some blues in here as well.
Yeah, show it closer because the speckles are really cool in this one. It also reminds me of like, crushed soda.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like a grape soda if you have it, or grape pop, whatever part of the country. I don't know, psychologically in my head,
I can see that.
The speckles remind me of like the carbonation, like little like bubbles, like little pops.
And this got its name because the song popped in my head as I was scanning it up.
And I sing it every time I scan it. I sing just.
I remember scanning it up downstairs at the dining room table. So that was before like the skein winder was up here. Then we have Mossy Cobblestone, which is a light gray with gray and green speckles. Where's the green speckle? Yeah, very lightly speckled.
These are not our typical, like, we usually tuck nice.
I know, I have to.
Nice.
Skein them.
These skeins are from we're, like I said, doing a big project, and so just a little messy. So just use the mess.
This one is Monster Jus.
This one's stunning.
This is a favorite too. I do like this. I will say
it's very summery.
It may have to change though.
Why?
Because remember, this is the one that I have a lot of trouble dyeing.
Oh, with the blues.
Yeah, there's one of the dye powders does not dissolve well, and then if it sits too long, it starts breaking apart back into powder. So the blue isn't distributed evenly. So I might have to figure something out for this. But this is Monster Jus.
It's really, really good.
We have...
We have a sock too.
Pistachio Brittle.
This is such a good color.
Just a light green with some orange speckles in there. The orange speckles remind me of the orange pistachios like I used to have as a kid.
Yeah. This goes with a lot. The Pistachio Brittle.
I don't know that I would put it with the purple.
I would.
It would go with Monster Jus.
Yeah.
It would go
I think, do you have a pull that pink one. Oh, it's so good. Never mind, they're next to each other. But see how pretty that is?
Yeah. And then... And these are, when these go up, or when you view the site, these have limited numbers on these, on the fingering. But we have some It's Fall Y'all. Fancy Flannel, which I haven't dyed Fancy Flannel in a really long time. I do have this on DK as well.
Mm-hmm. Fancy Flannel is really nice. It's got like some blues in there.
Yeah, there's
which
two
is
blues.
Really fun.
There's some brown and some orange speckles in there.
And this was how funny that you have a flannel shirt that is in this exact same color.
Well, that's why
it's called Fancy Flannel. Yeah.
And then we have
Ravenswood. I think the background is nice set up.
Which is like a taupey color with some brown spots and speckles here. This one I love. This I'm doing a sweater out of. I'm doing Max's So Basic DK. I want to do out of this colorway.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Then we have Violet Meadow, purple, some gorgeous, undyed, and some green and yellow speckles.
Yeah.
And then these two are new, so these will not be on the site right away because I need to dye up some more of them. This one is Frostbitten Rose, so it's this burgundy and this like light, like pinky red, and then I have some blue speckles throughout. Where else are they on here? Oh yeah, you go. It's very lightly speckled. And then this one was new. So the project I was working on, I actually reached out to Justine to get her feedback on it. And she had said she wished that she had some more pink. So I took a recipe that I had and I substituted two of the colors. So the other recipe was, let's say, made with like a magenta and a red. And I used a different magenta and a different red for this. And then Angie helped me name it. This is going to be called Truly Outrageous.
It's coming across very highlighter.
It is coming across
pink, but it's not as highlightery.
It's a
super bright pink.
It's a bright pink. Mm-hmm. And Truly Outrageous.
It is truly outrageous.
Gem reference. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I would pair. I wouldn't. Personally, I would not pair these two together.
Electric. It looks like electric.
But yeah, this is a fun one. It was really fun to just change out 2 dyes and come up with this. The 2 dyes, it's from...
it looks like it's glowing in your hand.
I know. It is quite bright. Yeah. So this is truly outrageous. And then on... DK, it's a lot. So some of the same ones are on there. Tiger's Eye and Fancy Flannel. And these are just some. There's a lot of DK on the website currently, and this is the 7525 DK. So we have Dreamcatcher, and It's Just a Little Crush. This one is Midnight Mist, which is a really nice...
This is another one
like
of my
medium
favorites.
gray. Mm-hmm. And then Silver Moonlight, which Ray had showed earlier for the Hatch Hat, so a light gray.
Silvery gray, really.
Yeah, and then we have Iron Mountain.
Yeah, that's another like gorgeous color. Like seeing it knit up.
This was named after and it was an image of a company called Iron Mountain. It's like one of the paper shredding places or something like that. I just saw a bunch of colors in their logo and went with that. And then some rhubarb.
I don't know why I thought it was a book.
Nope, rhubarb.
Oh, rhubarb's a very popular colorway at Skein. And some other places. It's interesting when we like to see people's interest in rhubarb.
Yeah, I do have some on the Athena base too, I believe. Mm-hmm. But definitely on DK.
But rhubarb it looks like a strawberry rhubarb pie.
And then this is Snowy River, which actually was named by y'all. We asked this one, this was like a year or 2 ago.
Yeah.
And people said it reminded them of a Snowy River.
Yeah.
And or like a combo of those things, but it stuck with me because one of my favorite movies is The Man from Snowy River. Mm-hmm. So I combined some suggestions, and that's how this one got its name. But there's a bunch more on there. There are some items in the sale section, some one-of-a-kinds, or some like older colors there. So check that out. I think it's 20% off if I'm not mistaken.
And because Kevin is a perfectionist, has very high standards, the one-of-a-kinds really are like if there's just a speckle that's off or the slightly lighter shade of one of these colors, like if you really on its own couldn't tell a difference, so like give our one-of-a-kinds a check. We call them single brews.
Some of them are just like
and some of them are just messing around. Sure,
I actually have a bunch of Ravenswood that I have to throw on there because the dye didn't mix well, so it's not.
And there's like florals for spring, one of a kind.
Well, that is now going to be just plain old florals.
Oh,
it
great.
looks just like that. Because not that I made the mistake again, it's just the measurements are a bit different.
Are a little different. So also, if you would like to see our yarn in person, we have the yarn at Skein Yarn Shop in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. So if you're in that area, definitely stop by and check that out. We just pretty much restocked them on a whim. Like it just worked out perfectly after picking up our yarn from the trunk show. We just had it in our trunk, literally. And when we went to go visit at Skein, and then just randomly was like, oh, we've got this yarn in the back of the trunk. So Lori ended up taking some.
She has the 8515 Athena base.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous base. All different colors. There's another newer colorway that's over there called Golden Obsidian.
I think it might be gone.
Oh, really?
It pairs well with, what did she say? People with Tiger's Eye? Is that what people were?
I think it was Tiger's Eye.
Pairing it with?
Yeah. So anyway, I think you might be able to find it on their website as well, like what colors they have.
Yeah, and then I will be adding a lot of one-of-a-kinds because I'm going to dye some like no dye left behind skeins this week.
Fun.
So that will be fun. I have a lot from the recent project, some dye left behind that I'm going to use to just do some one-of-a-kinds on some bases that I haven't dyed on in a while. So fun. So that is Needles at the Ready yarn. We are going to move on to a giveaway.
Yes.
So this is our, I don't know, like 4th year doing this.
It is. This was so perfect. And I get jealous every freaking year.
So, this is our annual giveaway with Ginger Snap.
Ginger Snap that. Yep.
This is the S'mores collection. These are really cute.
I
haven't seen the bag.
You did
The bag is
It's so good. So we're not going to take it out of the bag. This launches, I believe, July 20th.
I thought it was 11th.
Oh, maybe the July 11th. That's not the right one.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you. It's in there. And we are allowed to talk about this now, which is fantastic. July 20th.
July 20th at noon Mountain Standard Time.
Yes. So before I show this, follow Ginger Snap That on Instagram and favorite their website because these go so fast. Every year they put together s'mores, like Kevin said, a little s'mores collection. You get a beautiful bag, a skein of sock yarn, and a mini, and then some like little fun things as well.
And always needle stoppers.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. So here we go. I'm going to show it. I'm not going to open the bag because we're going to give this away. You're seeing it here first, we think. So this is the s'mores colorway with the mini. Ginger Snap. Here's the bag.
The bag is so good.
It's so good. Look how cute and happy those little s'mores friends are.
Gosh.
They're walking to their death, though, because they're all together, united until they hit the fire. Isn't that so cute, though?
I love them.
I know. I do, too. They do such a freaking great job. And then there's the little needle stoppers in there that are s'mores, like giant.
And it's the same type of...
It matches.
Is it mochi?
It matches the people. Yeah, that's all. It looks like
the
mochi. Or
not mochi.
No, I know what you're saying.
It's that. Remember the lady that we?
I do.
Rachel,
yes.
And she would do that all the time
with the baking things.
Yeah. I don't know the style.
With the big eyes.
Kawaii.
Kawaii.
Maybe.
It might be there.
It's somewhere around there. But that style of is so stinking cute.
So anyway, beautiful collection. So here's what you do to enter to win. And remember, before we say this, we will not contact you directly. We will not respond to the winner's post on our YouTube. We will announce that not next week, but the next time that we podcast, we will announce the winner then. So you know that you've actually been the one to win. And what we'll do is we're going to do a random comment picker down below. So in the comments down below, you just need to include the word s'mores in it. S-M-O-R-E-S. And then, by the way, this bag is a wireframe bag. They're my favorite type of bags. I actually don't have one in a while. Oh, so good. So good. Anyway, thank you for including us. And we're so happy to be able to pass these on. But make sure they're very difficult to get. So don't count on you winning this.
If you want
one,
shop on July
20th. Get them. Because last year I think she sold out in like an hour. It was so fast.
It's such a good set.
That's not. There's more.
So
this is a pile of like yarn.
They were super generous, and they sent over their cake caddies. Mm-hmm. And these are really cute. I haven't seen these
really
before,
cute.
And
Me neither.
they did send over 3 for us. So they are crafted from either cotton or canvas fabric. All right, let's show.
So they're portable. So here's the thing.
Yeah, they're portable.
Yeah.
So they're 12.5 inches by 5.5 by 4.
And they say that it's perfect for car knitting.
That's
because you can just put it right in the seat next to you. So they look like this, folded up. And they open up to just like a little rectangular like box that can sit right next to you in the seat of your car. Not while you're driving, unless you're Nancy. Hi, Nancy. I don't know if you're watching. But it's a box bottom. Very, very cool. You put your skeins of yarn in there. It's like a project bag, but it's just like right next to you on your seat. I love the interior of this bag and the video. We're going to keep this one.
And we're going to keep this one.
And we're going to keep that one.
But we're going to give away this one. And FYI, these are made in Canada. Ginny stuff that is from Canada.
Yep.
They're one of the ones that we were sad we didn't get to see at Knit City because we did not go.
But we did see them the first year. It was so nice.
I know, it was the first time we met them.
Yeah.
In person. So, we're going to give away this Mickey Mouse one. So, down below, if you would like this, in your comment, leave the word Disney.
Great. Disney.
So, for the s'mores giveaway, you need to comment with the word s'mores, and it needs to be S''MO'.
Oh, no.
Oh, no?
Don't do the apostrophe.
Okay.
People are not going to get it.
Okay.
Just SMORES.
So don't trust your spell checker. Yeah. And then Disney for this one, and then we will pull winners in the next episode. The next recorded episode, not the live.
Which will be...
in 3 weeks.
Yeah, probably July 20th. I don't know where my phone is.
Hold on. I'll look.
So that was fun. Thank you all so much for sending these our way, and good luck to everybody.
All right, so when's the next actual podcast? So
July 19th.
July 19th.
So we'll pull it a day before
they go on sale. So we'll be able to show them again and remind you.
Perfect.
All right, so that is the giveaway.
Yes.
Next up is Breaking the Bank. Somebody broke it. Oh, actually, no. I will post.
Oh, great.
This was kindly sent to me by our friend Carrie and I for Tour de Fleece, which starts like next weekend. And she sent me a hand-dyed mulberry silk hanky. And this is called Tropical Forest. It is from Rock Garden Alpacas and Fiber. And look at this.
It's really pretty.
I'm afraid to break it.
I know.
But look at the colors in here. That's really nice. I love the yellow, green, and blue. So I got to figure out how to spin this. We were briefly talking about it, I think on a knit night a couple weeks ago, that maybe I could use this on my blending board with a different fiber and do like a combo spin.
Ooh.
So thank you, Carrie. This is really...
yeah.
It's, my hands are very dry, so it's getting stuck.
Do you have something else to say?
No, I was just reading. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
So now we're moving on to Breaking the Bank.
All right, so I have quite a bit, and I didn't realize, but that's okay.
How yarn piggish you were?
I wasn't yarn piggish. One of them was a subscription. One of them was serendipity, and a couple of them are.
I actually have a decent amount myself.
Oh, great!
None of mine's yarn though.
All right, let's do the club. So I had mentioned that my next pair of socks is going to be Woolens and Nosh. The June sock club. She did post this already on, she as in Michelle. Michelle posted this on Instagram already, so you can see how it's knit up. It's beautiful, very, very summery.
Oh, I haven't seen. Let me look.
Yeah.
While you're talking.
Speaking of Michelle and Woolens and Nosh, don't know, but I'm just going to throw this out there because by the time we post this, it'll probably be around 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's what time it usually goes up. But starting at 12 noon today...
Which is already 1.
Which is already 1 o'clock.
So it's probably...
I don't know if she still has it. But she's doing another pre-order for her Advent. She's got a bunch more yarn, she says, in her stories. And so her Advent, if you didn't have a chance to get her Advent for this year, she has it posted up again.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here we go. So this is the June Yarn Club, and it is called, I know, Some Summertime. Some Summertime.
Here's how it looks knit up.
Really pretty.
Very cute.
So I'm going to do this as my July socks.
Nice.
Yep, so that came the other day. That's one. And it's already got a project for it. You want me just to keep going, or do we want to alternate?
Here, we'll alternate. So my first one was a purchase at Driftwood Yarns. This is a bag from BlueQ.com. It is 95% recycled material.
Which is great.
So this little pouch, I just thought it was cute because it says, boys need pouches too. And I was like, hell yeah, we do. So I'm going to buy it.
And so you did.
Yeah. So
what's the inside like?
The inside, that's a good zipper. And this is just the inside.
Nice. I love it. I love that it's also recycled.
Yeah, as well. And I think it was $8.
Yeah.
Very reasonably priced. They had a bunch of these.
They did. Driftwood had a really good selection of like.
And there were like curse words on some.
Yeah.
Some really good sayings. So yeah, I picked
really
that up
there. While we were at Driftwood, I showed you that I purchased the those bulky skeins of yarn for that blanket, but one of the customers that had come in was looking for some yarn for a sweater pattern, and she had this beautiful, beautiful magazine. Oh, and I was so taken back by it, and I thought it would be perfect also for the time of year. What we're doing, Let's Hear It for the Boys. And plus, I've been just like feeling a lot of crochet lately. So I went ahead and ordered this magazine book, basically. I should probably look at a subscription, but this is called Morit. And it is their summer edition 2025, and it is all men in these patterns.
Do you think
they're all crochet?
Every book is all men?
No, they're not.
Okay.
Nope.
So I didn't know if that's why you were thinking of subscribing to it. Like if you were going to...
No, but I love like these are really, really amazing pattern. I'm considering it, but I don't know what the other magazines would really look like. But it's beautiful. It's all like crochet men's sweaters. There's a lot of garments in here. There's vests, hats. There's some socks as well. I'm trying to find the sweater pattern that she was going to do. Was it the Meridian? No, but I think that's really cute. It is...
That one's cute too, though.
It is very cute. Look how beautiful.
Yeah.
These are absolutely stunning. Stunning. Oh, here it is. I think this was what it was called. Sea Spray. I thought this was really nice as well.
That's a nice cardigan.
Yeah. It's called Sea Spray. Part of me thinks that it was a colorwork one. Is there a list of
Yeah, the table of contents were right at the front.
Oh, sometimes in the back. Oh, look. There's a digital copy as well. Will they have pictures? You know, sometimes they don't have. Afloat Meridian. I can't remember what it was, but anyway,
he just loved one of the patterns.
I loved all of the patterns. I thought that this, like, really cute things in here. And I've never done a crocheted garment before, so I would love to, give this a try. There's different techniques in here, how to steek crochet. This afloat is it's gorgeous. Anyway, long story short, I ended up purchasing this directly from the UK, which shipping was a little bit expensive, and I believe that they have them in a couple of different places here, like the Woolery, I think, has some, or Woolly Thistle.
But you could also just buy the digital version.
You can.
Ray decided to buy both.
I bought both.
So he could get the physical copy and the digital copy.
I think for only like $5 more, you got both. Yeah. So,
but then you got to pay shipping.
Yeah.
So that's not really from $5 the UK. More.
But whatever.
Just saying.
Well worth it. So highly recommend. They're out of Edinburgh. Edinburgh. So I was inspired from Driftwood, one of the customers there. We were so inspired there. Like, there was so many sharing of patterns and like suggestions and recommendations of things. Like, I added so many things to my favorites in Ravelry.
You did.
Yeah.
All right. So next up for me is my monthly club from Into the World Fiber.
Into the Woods.
This is the June 2025.
Into the woods and out of the woods.
It is called Night Gardener. and it is on gray Corriedale, and it is beautiful. Let me actually pull up.
It's really pretty.
They actually do a really good job on their Instagram of showing it.
Now, I feel like a lot of these colors are very not moody, but kind of like
muted,
darker and muted. Yeah.
So this is this month's club. So
wow.
Some navies, grays, greens.
Yeah.
Even like a teal, but on the gray Corriedale, it really kind of changes the way that it would look. So this one, no, not this one, but this could be another good one to spin for my hand-spun Vertices Unite to go with this.
It would.
So yeah, so here's what we have. So I love this little blue there, and the green's going to be really, really pretty. And Corriedale's just lovely. I don't know, have I spun Corriedale before?
I think you did.
100% Corriedale?
I'm not sure. But I thought you did Corriedale, and I thought you loved it. You loved it.
So again, I will say this every time I talk about this club. I think it's a great way to try different fibers.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's $26 a month, and you get 4 ounces of a random fiber every month. So that's that one.
All right, I am down to the last 2 things. I'll talk about this one. This was a purchase from Skein. There's a Skein had a really nice. They've got a lot of earth products. URTH earth yarns. Earth has like already knit up socks that if you're interested in. There's like different like sock sets and things.
You've gotten their sock set.
I did.
I thought you knit them.
I think I did. It was called Stormy Clouds or something like that. Yeah, I did.
You got it from Northampton Wools.
Yeah.
When we went.
So I saw this hat that they had there. And if you watch the Skein Scoop podcast, they actually showed the hat itself and talked a lot about it. But I don't know why. I was just really, really drawn to this hat. It's called the Dublo, Dubblo hat. And it's very much, it's like a double layer hat, very much in the style of like a Musselburgh or the ant hat, something like that.
Yeah.
But this has a Latvian braid, separating the 2 skeins of yarn.
Oh, that's cool.
And the sample was so soft. And I was just really taken back by it. I thought it was really pretty. I did try it on a few times and got some suggestions on how to wear the hat a little bit different so it didn't look like I was wearing a rubber jacket. If you catch my drift. I love the decreases that swirl. Mm-hmm. Really pretty. And then you can see a little bit of the Latvian braid there.
Yeah.
If you roll it up. So I'm going to do a slouchier version of that because that's just kind of how I prefer to wear my hat, and it looks a little bit better on my head. It's a $5 pattern from earthyarns.com, which we'll have that link down below in our show notes. But you can also get it on Ravelry if you'd like. It's $1 more on Ravelry. You can see other people's project page and stuff like that. So it's a sport weight yarn. And I am going to be using the recommended yarns from Earth Yarns. I got 2 colors. It's their Spiral Grain Sport Weight 100% Superwash Extra Fine Merino. It's 198 yards for 50 grams. You need 2 skeins for this hat, 1 of each color. I'm not sure what size needles it's going to be, but the yarn itself recommends a US 2 to 4. So I got the colors Redwood. Oh, isn't that so pretty? And Sycamore.
Oh.
And then this is what their powers combined. So it'll be reversible. One side will be that color, and one side will be this color. Again, this is Earth Yarns.
Very nice.
Yeah. And it really is just you felt the hat. It's so incredibly soft.
I don't know. It is soft.
Yeah. Justine actually is doing a Musselburgh hat with these same exact colors. I believe for her
brother-in-law. I think brother-in-law.
Somebody. She's doing
it's
it for
definitely somebody
else.
in New Hampshire.
Yeah. So I am going to be casting this on pretty soon, I think. I love the idea of like the lot being braid in between. It's a very delicate one, with the size.
I haven't done a lot being braid in a while.
I know. I only did it that one time. I can't remember for what project it was for.
If you made those gloves, the colorwork gloves,
I did.
It was cast on.
That's what it was.
With a lot being braid?
Yeah, yep, that's exactly right.
Excuse me, I just yawned.
Exactly right. Okay.
All right.
So that was my purchase at Skane, and I have one last thing.
Yeah, I have this, which I just purchased because it was on sale, that's like the worst 4-letter word.
Sale? In a yarn shop?
No, this wasn't in a yarn shop.
Oh.
I think for hobbyists.
Yeah, sale is
Sale is the worst.
You end up spending much more money on a sale because then you have to get other things to fill up your cart.
Well, I did not spend a lot.
Oh, good job.
I only bought one thing. This is from Viking Fiber Co., which we met him at.
We did.
Flock last year.
Yeah.
And he was
having great.
A sale on some fiber, so I picked this up. This is OOAK112.
One of a kind?
Yep, one of a kind. And this is 100% Corriedale, combed top non-superwash roving. U.S. grown and milled. It is 115 grams for 4 ounces.
Wow. So
I thought this was nice because I don't have... I'm such a liar. I guess I'm wrong. I was going to say, I don't have like a lot of green up there.
Yeah, you do.
Michael and I, he just did.
Well, you got to throw Michael's name in it for it. He's minding his business over there in Chicago. And
he's not in Chicago currently.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He went away. But he was looking, like when he was talking about his spinning, he's like, oh, a lot of my colors are in the same color family. So I saw this. I was like, oh, this isn't going to be in any...
You're thinking, I'm going to be outside outside the line.
Outside the color family's in here. But now I'm looking and I see some green, some green, some green, orange. Everything has gray in it. Yeah. So apparently I don't know how to step out a color.
Well, you don't. Do you necessarily need to? If you find something that you like, it's fine.
I just showed green, gray, blue. And I was looking at this one because I was like, oh, I get brighter colors. This is probably about the most outside I've gotten in a while. But yes, I love this. And I actually like how the braid scent, the band on it, keeps it together. Very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
And my last thing I'm just going to real quick was my subscription to Ply Magazine. And this one talks about tension.
And do you have one of those tensioner things?
No, I don't even know what that is. I have to read the magazine to find out.
Probably like a tensioner, like a test.
Maybe. But and I believe this is a quarterly subscription, so this is my second one. A lot of it, and I don't know, really deals with traditional wheels. I don't know that I've seen a lot that has that.
I would not be very comfortable having a spinning wheel at the beach with all the sand and stuff. Do you feel like that would be?
With my regular wheel, with my e-wheel, I wouldn't mind it.
Really? I feel like the sand would get like inside the things. All right, so I have one more to show as well. This very dear friend of ours, Carrie, had found some some really amazing things at her local Goodwill or whatever, one of those stores, which is a really great, alternative for people if you want to just like browse. It's always fun every once in a while to browse for things. You never know what you're going to find. So she just happened to find some Woolfolk Far, which I'm afraid to open this, but I'm going to open this now. Is there a way to open this without breaking the...
No.
So Woolfolk Far, I've had a pattern in my Ravelry, my favorites, for a really long time, probably for the last couple of years, called the Gentleman Cardigan.
I thought for the last year.
No, it was when me and Aaron, this was the last 3 years ago when we all got the house with the West Coast
in Rhinebeck
folks. Aaron showed me this pattern called the Gentleman Cardigan, which is actually in our bundle on Ravelry. I'm going to try to pull it up here. Don't worry about helping me, Kev. I appreciate that. You just keep reading your book.
Okay. Thanks for the permission. Where do you want me to find up the gentleman cardigan?
It's in our bundle.
So why are you not just going to Ravelry?
Because
you're Googling the gentleman cardigan.
Here it is. Hush up now, child. Please, I'm hungry.
I'm starving.
All right, so this is the gentleman cardigan. Really nice, like textured, simple but elegant style cardigan. And the suggested yarn is Woolfolk Far. And Woolfolk Far can sometimes is a little bit on the pricier side.
It is not even a little bit. It is.
It's pretty pricey.
It is.
So when she found these skeins at her like her local like Goodwill or whatever, they were significantly cheaper, like really, really cheap. She's like, and I said, hey, can you grab me some skeins of yarn? So she got me 12 of them, which is something like that, which is exactly what the pattern calls for.
That's what I suggested.
In Woolfolk Far, in this beautiful lavender colorway. It's color number 40.
It's very pale.
Oh, it's so good. It's like a bluish purple.
Yeah.
Like lavender. It's... Whoa, but look how nice. It is so freaking
it's going to make...
soft.
It's kind of like a chain net construction, so it's going to be a really nice sweater.
Yeah. Does this kind of yarn pill with the chain net construction? Probably.
What's the makeup of the yarn?
It's super... Oh, yeah, thanks. Okay, good job. It is... Well, there's like 5 different things to like look at. 100% Ovis 21 Ultimate Merino Wool.
Yeah, it will pill.
Yeah, for sure.
So the softer the yarn, the more it pills.
Yeah.
Merino, like merino and cashmere, those are going to pill because they're incredibly soft and they have... merino has a shorter staple length.
Yeah.
So it pills very easily. A lot of it, too, would have to depend on how it's spun. Mm-hmm. Like a 4-ply merino is going to pill less than a 2-ply.
Right.
That's just the same with any type of base. A 2-ply pills more than a 4-ply.
A single ply would pill.
That's why most people won't make a sweater out of a single ply.
No, but I have a really nice hat with single ply.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, this is my sweaters quantity of Woolfolk Far for the gentleman's cardigan, which I'm super excited about. I'm not sure when I'm going to start that, but now I have the yarn for it.
You should do that after you do your hot toddy.
Yeah, I should. And after I do my Sven sweater or Seven sweater, after I do...
That's all right. I was thinking the other day that I have like the 9 sweaters I want to make this year, and I've yet to complete one. So I'll probably get 2 done this year, maybe 3 max.
I need to finish my sweater vest.
Yeah.
Which I did. Lazy.
And we just haven't had it in
We haven't. But
I feel rejuvenated.
I needed to I do too. I'm really excited about... I think I'm getting close to finishing a project, and that's going to like release those endorphins, and I'm just going to be like, yeah, let's do it. So, all I need to do is just cake up another skein of yarn for my vest, and I just didn't feel like doing it.
Well, it probably was a little difficult, too. We didn't have a lot of space up here.
We didn't.
For a couple
I can't wait to share what we've been working on, y'all.
I know.
I'm really excited for Kevin.
So, all right. What do you want to do now? Do we want to talk about what we've been reading and watching, or do we want to eat lunch?
Eat lunch. What are we having for lunch?
I have no idea. I have to figure that out.
We can always go out and get something.
So, real quick, the only thing we'll talk about reading and watching is if you haven't watched on Netflix, we highly recommend Department Q.
Yeah, it was great.
We watched that like 2 weeks ago. It's really quick. We probably watched it in 2 days. It has Matthew Good in it from Downton Abbey and A Discovery of Witches, and I'm sure a bunch of other things, but those are the 2 that we know him from. And... it was a very enjoyable show. Sure. I do recommend possibly throwing on subtitles because sometimes the accent was hard to understand.
For us.
And I do wish that we may have done that.
Yeah.
But that was a really good show. Maybe 8 to 10 episodes. So we would highly
recommend that show.
I feel like every person we've recommended it to has already watched it.
I know.
And they loved it.
We must have been late to the game there.
No, it literally just came out within the past 3 weeks.
Just as much as we'd recommend that, I do not, unfortunately, we watched a movie that
It wasn't great. We did not thoroughly enjoy the Minecraft movie. We enjoyed the fact... We enjoyed
the effort.
How they depicted Minecraft. Because the world itself is nostalgic for us because we used to play all the time.
Yeah, huge Minecraft players.
So we totally get it, and it was super cool to see that world brought to life on the big television screen. But the story itself just didn't work for me.
Not even close. Like, not even if, like... So just for our opinion. Just, like, you know, sometimes when you're watching those, like, silly... Like, okay, this is meant to be, like, they're just going a little
straight
bit...
Straight to DVD.
Extra... Yeah. Like, you know you get in that mind frame, and you can just make it work, and it can still be funny. Like, Journey to the Center of the Earth, or... What's the Jumanji 2, right?
Oh, I love Jumanji.
Me too.
Yeah.
But it was one of those still, like, silly jokes, you know, like, just outlandish, you know, and you knew what to expect.
Right. There
was still a little story. There was a decent story there, too, but it was, like... extreme. Like, okay, you don't need to be that silly, but we loved it. Like, loved it. This one was, I didn't like it at all.
I know it wasn't one that
Jack
kept
Black
my
was,
attention.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, it didn't keep my attention. Like, I found myself, like, drifting.
Yeah, me too. But I loved looking at, like, seeing the zombies and, like, all that stuff.
And the
like,
creepers.
How they did it. I was like, oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was cool.
Anyway.
That part was cool.
Sorry. Yeah, that was that.
So that is that. So, again, don't forget... S'mores for the ginger snap that set.
If you put we'll look at both. Just put the word s'mores.
Yeah. However, and then Disney for the yarn caddy, and look at the community tab to enter your questions for next week's live, which is going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern time.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell, so that you can get the notifications. We usually don't mind if, you know, clearly, like, the subscription thing, like, doesn't really matter. But if you want to get notified, definitely subscribe and ring the bell and stuff.
So I think that is everything. We talked about a lot today, and
we did.
We're going to go have some lunch. We hope that you guys have a great week.
We'll see you next week.
We will see you next week.
Yeah. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And... put your parakeet patience clothes on, because we're going to need some patience with the parakeet, because he's probably going to be loud and tweety.
Yeah, or you may just have to turn your volume down some.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Hope you guys have a good week. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.